Listen, I know I like friendships, I know I like this and that, but I can dip on a hoe real quick. Real quick, okay?
Oh, here we go.
Hey guys, it's Shay. In today's video, I'm going to tell you guys my toxic traits, or traits that I think is toxic, not only to other people, but to myself also. And I'm working on them. I need to be in more situations in which I can improve on these skills, but these are just things that I've observed that I'm like, maybe I should stop doing that. I do be trying. I could try harder. So I have about 6 main topics that I want to talk about that I think, or traits that I think is toxic. Like I said, this is not only to other people, which I hope this did not turn anybody's son into like Future or something, you know, make people develop some bad traits because of my bad traits. I deeply apologize to the people out there, but these traits are also, I think, toxic to my mental health and just to me, period. So I have 6, but within those 6 there's some subcategories that I want to get into. So yeah, let's just get into it, exposing myself once again for the sake of content. The first toxic trait I want to talk about is how my brain works. So my brain works in extremes. So either it's black or it's white. There's no in between. When my brain can't process whether the things are in like black or white and they're in like a gray area, it really messes up my brain. Like it messes me up. It like affects my whole persona. So either we're friends, we're not friends. Either you hate me or you like me. And I say this all the time. I assume everyone hates me until proven otherwise. I don't think y'all understand how extreme that is. Like I had a friend, Kenny. He was in my birthday vlog for like 1 second. If you go on my Instagram, you'll see him on there. But literally, I've known this man since 3rd grade, right? Tell me why I thought he hated me until last year. That's 10 years of me thinking this man hated me. I didn't think he hated me. I just think he didn't like me. And he was like, why would you think that? I was like, I don't know. I just assumed you didn't like me. And, you know, last year you proved otherwise. So now I know you don't like me. That's literally how my brain works. Whenever I meet somebody, I'm really shy at first when you meet me. Depending on when you meet me. Like, if you meet me at my crazy phase, then I'm just nice to everybody. When I'm not high on sugar or whatever, when I meet somebody, I'm really hesitant to, like, talk to them. Or I observe their persona until I realize, oh, okay, they're nice. They're not gonna hate me. Another example of my brain working in black and white, like an extreme instant, there was a situation in which I knew this man was like not good for me. I knew like, oh, okay, maybe I should block on freaking messages, Instagram, Twitter, freaking kick, just like cut contact with them. There's some instances I was like, dang, you really do be lowering my self-esteem, right? There was never like a closure. Like I'm a person who needs closure sort of, or like need a distinct situation to happen where I'm like, oh, okay, this man don't F with me no more, or okay, we're done, right? Yes, there's a lot of situations I was like, all right, this man's be playing, right? There was no distinct situation where I can like, okay, this is the moment when we just like cut communication and just stop. Like this man was in a gray area for like 2 years, my guy, 2 years. Whenever my brain was like, okay, so we're done, we're not cool anymore, cool, he would come back. It would just mess up everything. I allowed a lot of stuff to like just get swept under the rug because my brain could have processed like, okay, you need to cut it all. Cause I'm like, but like we might still be cool. And I think in my head I was like, okay, I'm holding this man to what I think he could be or what I think he is, instead of like just looking at the facts and be like, yo, you do this for what? So yeah, that's one of the situations in which like my brain couldn't process whether it was, oh, we hate each other, oh, we actually like we're cool with each other. Well, I guess the 10 years is bigger than the 2 years, but this is a situation in which it was like toxic to myself. Well, it could play into toxicity for other people because this plays into the next one, which is I can emotionally attach myself to someone as easily as I can emotionally detach myself from someone. So like I said, my brain works in extremes. So like either I'm like friendly, and then it just switches out of nowhere. Like one thing can just switches my whole brain. I'm just like, stay away. Once my brain comes to the conclusion that I don't F with this person no more, or they don't F with me, or something happened and it's just like, all right, cool, we're not cool anymore, my brain just automatically, okay, we're not friends, get away. And my whole persona changes. Like I can't, that's why I can't hide my emotions towards somebody. That's just how my brain works. And I know he's like, oh, you can't use that as an excuse. I'm not using this as any excuse or like justifying anything that I've done, but I'm just trying to explain to y'all how I think and how I think these are toxic. But yeah, there's a lot of instances in which like like one thing can just switch my whole, well, not necessarily, because I think I tolerate a lot of stuff, but once it builds up to that point where I'm like, all right, we gotta go, then there's no turning back. Well, I can get over stuff really fast, but once my brain's like, oh, we don't really F each other, it's literally like a year before I rekindle a beef or a conflict with somebody. One example that I can say that plays into I can emotionally attach to someone as easily I can emotionally detach from someone. For talking phases, I should say, there's like a lot of instances in which I was like, oh yeah, I really like this person, or like I have a crush on them. I don't want to say crush because it lasts 2 seconds, but I'm like, oh yeah, I really vibe with this person, I really like this person, and then like literally the next day I'm like, oh, please stop texting me, please. I said that in my do I have a type video where I'm just like, please stop texting me, please. Within a week period, I just stopped talking to somebody, or I stopped liking them. It wasn't even a week, it was like literally the next day I was like, you know what, I was just joking. It was a lapse of judgment. I don't really like you. And I did hurt their feelings, and I truly sorry for that. But yeah, crazy. The next one I want to talk about is my poor communication skills, and this kind of plays into the last one for my emotional detachment. So the emotional detachment and my brain seeing in black and white can play into friendships also. So I think I'm a better writer, where I can express myself better through writing than I can through verbally talking or speaking with somebody, because I'm able to like process everything and just like say everything I needed to say and just move on from it, right? When there's a situation, instead of like confronting it right then and there, I usually like step away from it, process whether am I in the wrong, is she in the wrong, oh where we went wrong. So basically I step away from the conflict, and then I resolve the conflict internally, but the other person or people don't know there's a conflict per se, and then I come back and I'm like, okay guys, we're cool, I fixed it, but they're like, what did you fix? I didn't know there was something to fix. And then it's just a whole thing. Like this literally happened, it was like a whole thing, and I'm just like, well, I'm cool with you now. And people are just like, you literally avoided me for a whole week and then you came back and act like nothing happened. So don't do that, guys. Another reason why I did that is just like some of the stuff that I like separated myself from, I didn't think it was a big deal to even bring up. So I was just like, okay, let me just go fix it myself or deal with it internally, because obviously it's a me problem, and then come back and just be like, oh, nothing happened. Ooh. But no, you can't do that. And another thing that plays into the poor communication skills is when something happens, I let it go. Like I just let it scoop on the rug, and then like stuff slowly starts to build up and build up and build up, and then either one, I just stop contact with that person, or two, I latch out. I just and people be like, why are you acting like this? I'm just like, because A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. But there's a lot of things like I can't communicate with you if I know you're not going to be receptive of what I'm saying. If I say, oh, you hurt my feelings, then I know you're just gonna be like, okay, and or if I know you're just gonna like go tell somebody else, and then y'all go start talking about me behind my back where I'm trying to like express what I'm trying to say to you, then what's the point of even trying, you know? But we gotta at least try. I'm gonna try. And another thing, when I say I write better than when I actually talk, let me tell you guys. So I used to write end of the year letters, right? And I started in middle school with my friend Kayla, and we were big on like keepsakes and stuff, so we would just write end of year letters to each other, right? So then that spilled into high school. So when it became toxic, at least on my side, is when the whole person, when I was like, oh, I should have been stopped talking to dudes, right? I will write end of the year letters recapping every situation in which shawty hurt my feelings, instead of when it happened, oh, you made me feel like this. No, what happened in January, shawty waited till December. I used to send it on December 31st at like 11:59. So shawty waited till December 31st to bring up all that happened in January. And it was fine and dandy the first year. The last year I did it, I was like, you're a clown. You're a complete clown, my guy. This man does not care. But yeah, I did that. Yeah, I showed it. I'm not doing that in college. Well, I might, but it won't be as toxic, you know? It'll be more as to my friends, but like, oh, I love you, have a good year, you know? Not a whole 5-page paragraph of why you hurt my feelings and why I feel like this and that. When if they didn't care in the beginning of the year, why would they care at the end of the year? Stupid. I think that's also a way of my brain trying to be like, you're still in this gray period, please get into black or white, because I can't do this anymore. That brings me to another point of which I dwell in the past for longer than necessary. I used to go through pictures, not of that situation or anything, but like just in general of like all my friends and stuff. I used to go through pictures from like middle school or like random text messages, be like, oh, we really was cool at one point. Like whenever I talk to somebody from middle school, I used to bring up old memories, like, you remember when we did this? Like I'm literally trying to like hold on to something that just needs to go, baby. Let it go. I know I say it's easy for me to detach for somebody, but like I said, when they're in that gray period, when you just wither away and there's no distinct thing I can point of like, oh, this is why we don't talk to you. Like when time just passes, it's really hard for me to let that go, because I truly value my friendships a little more than I value my family, because I feel like for friendships they can turn into family relationships, and two, I feel like I relate more to my friends, of course. So when I stop talking to my friends, it really hurts me. Like I used to have legit anxiety panic attacks because I'm like, I used to be friends with these people and now we're not, and we used to hang out every time it was my birthday, and like we can't do that. Like, yeah. So example of this is in 10th grade I had a sweet 16, of course, and I literally invited everybody I was friends with, maybe not even friends, just I knew in middle school, and I invited them all to my birthday. Like majority of my friends that was at my birthday party was from middle school, and then like 10% was from my high school. Like I try so hard to like just hold on to those friendships, but when they're gone, baby, they hurt. But like, you know, it's part of growing up, and I have to deal with it. But at the same time, I truly believe like you can rekindle any friendship. Some friendships do not need to be rekindled, but like if you stop being friends over some petty stuff, like that's why I would write my end of the year letters, because I'm like, let's resolve this. Me trying to validate my terrible habits. So the next toxic trait I have is that I hate confrontation. This kind of plays into what I already talked about. Some of the stuff I'm just like, oh, it's not that big of a deal, I can just move on for it. Maybe I'm the one being dramatic, maybe I'm the crazy one or something like that. I just hate confrontation, but at the same time I find myself in confrontational situations every year, so I don't know how maybe. But for those confrontational situations, I never confronted the problem. I just like stopped talking to the person, and then like the next year we just established that we're cool, and then we just move on from there. I think this is where daddy issues and childhood trauma comes into play. Yeah. I cannot hide my emotions. So when I have a problem with somebody, I'm like, I can't fake around you. Why would I try to fake and pretend we're not cool? But sometimes it's literally problems where I know the other person knows there's a problem, but they don't want to be confrontational, and I surely ain't gonna be confrontational. So we just be like, listen, I know I like friendships, I know I like this and that, but I can dip on a hoe real quick. Okay, that's not good. Shut up. And then the last one, like I say in like almost every video, I have mental issues. I have like depressive states or anxiety attacks, and that can be like really big and like have an emotional toll on me. So whenever I go through that, I just want to detach myself from people. I just don't talk to anybody because I'm literally trying to resolve or process how I feel. Whenever I get stressed or have a lot of anxiety and I have to pretend in front of people, I get really irritated and I started lashing out on people. So because I know that, I try to like detach myself from situations so people can enjoy their lives, and then once I fix my problems, then we can go back to where we was, just be cool and like have that knowledge of like, oh, you left because you were dealing with your mental health, not because you didn't F with us, you know? So when people brings it up all the time, like, okay, but it's because I'm literally having anxiety attacks every day. So what would I bring to the table of this friendship or relationship, whatever? If I feel like trash, like why would I bring that to somebody else and just bring them down to, you know, those people who are having a bad day and make sure people know they're having a bad day, like they just tear your whole day apart. Like I don't want to be that type of person, so that's why I detach myself from people. I only put this in here because I have several people be like, oh, but you do this or that. One, high-key annoying. I just feel like for some people I do communicate why I'm not talking to them. Like Omar, I used to talk to him like, Omar, I feel like this and that, and we have a whole conversation. Didn't make me feel better a little bit, but it didn't cure my freaking depression. That's an emotional toll on people. Imagine every time I had a mental breakdown or something, I went to the same person over and over again. That's literally emotionally draining to them. So I'm just like, all right, let me just do what I gotta do and then come back getting better. That's not really me explaining how that's toxic, but that's just how I felt about that situation. Okay, so that's the end of this video. I hope you guys got insight into my personality. We're just being truthful out here. Like I said, I am working on these. Hopefully you guys, I don't hope you guys related. If you did, let's work on this together, baby. Let's get this under control. But yeah, I hope you guys like videos like this. Let me know in the comment section down below. Make sure you follow me on Instagram, shade.day2wise_. Follow me on Twitter, shade_day2wise_, and follow me on Snapchat, shade_day_OG. And make sure you subscribe and turn on the post notification bell. Bye.